Podcast number 4 for Run with Red at the Irish Examiner Cork City Marathon is myself, Colm Moore from Cork's Red FM, passionate runner, and Chris Harrington, passionate runner also, a trainer and former captain at Lee Vale as well, taking you through a podcast today. As I say, it's number 4 in the series of podcasts we're doing. We want to inspire you, motivate you and give you some tips and advice about what to do and what not to do at the forthcoming Irish Examiner Cork City Marathon. How are you doing, Chris?
Fantastic, Colm. How are you again today?
I'm not too bad. Listen, we're just going to go through some...
You forgot I'm a builder as well.
Oh, you're right. and loving father.
Don't.
But if there's anything else you want to add in, tell me before we start.
2 dogs. Goldfish.
But listen, we're just going to go through some of the questions that we've been asked over the last couple of weeks, both at our training run on a Saturday morning, but also you can email us your questions, marathon@redfm.ie, and you can tweet as well at Cork's Red FM, just using the hashtag #RunWithRed, and we'll pick that up there as well. So lots of people, as I say, when we're running on a Saturday morning, asking us questions. So we've got a bunch of these that we're going to try and go through today. Number 1, how much water should I drink on race day?
On race day, this should be pre-tested. So all your training runs, you should be practicing how much water that you're actually capable of taking, you know.
Because lots of people hear, oh, you need to be hydrated, you have to hydrate yourself, but you can drink too much as well as too little.
You can, but it's not just about the day, Colm. It's actually it's the days leading up to the race, you know, especially for people doing the full or the half.
Yeah.
The relay will get away with it a lot more, to be honest, you know. But definitely if you're doing the marathon or the half, you will need to be hydrated appropriately all week. Just we should be prepping your hydration all week.
So you should be doing it now.
Correct. Oh yes.
So take on lots of water. They say drink 2 litres a day, probably more if you're running a lot. But certainly don't leave it all to the morning of the race, or the day of the race, because it's too late then. You should be hydrated, well hydrated on the weeks running up to the race.
But what I always do on any drink station, I take some on board. Every single drink station, I take something. I don't pass it.
Yeah.
So then that gives me enough throughout the race. And I don't take the whole bottle, but I'll definitely get a couple of mouthfuls, throw away the bottle, and in the next water station, a couple of mouthfuls more, I'll throw it away. And just because it's raining on the day, or you still have to take your fluids on board, even if it's raining. You know, people think, oh, it's raining, I don't need any. But that's
so a little often, maybe. Certainly, you know, drink as much as you can on the weeks running up to it. Get well hydrated, and that'll stand to you on the day. But also in the day, take a little often. Maybe don't lash back half a litre.
No, but like this is what we're talking about every week. Like if you're doing long runs on Saturday or a Sunday, and it's 5k, 10k, or 20k, whatever your runs may be, you should be practicing. You should be well able at this stage to know what you can handle and not handle, you know. Just because you're racing on a specific day, you shouldn't leave anything. You shouldn't be doing anything new on race day, you know.
Okay. So another thing we've been asked, and we were asked yesterday, Chris, should I use energy gels? Now, these are little kind of carbohydrate, sugary little solutions. You can
caffeine shots.
Yeah, there's caffeine in them in some of them, but they're these little kind of pouches of energy gels. It's not a liquid; it's a kind of a gel, a paste form, and people would eat these and wash them, I suppose, down with water.
Or Haribo, people use them as energy gels as well.
Yeah.
Again,
Haribo sweets.
Yeah. I always do. I have an old packet.
Would you really?
Yeah.
So, like, it depends
on the distance. No, it depends on the distance and depends on the level you're going through. You know, I mean, if you're doing a 5k, I wouldn't be carrying around a packet of Haribo or anything.
But I mean, as regards the energy gels, probably if you're doing a leg of the leg of the relay, you probably don't need an energy gel. Now, if you're doing a half or a full, they can be handy, but
you're going to different zones. It's a different level when you're doing the half and the full. You know, you're stepping it up. You know, it's more demanding on the body. Obviously, for a leg of a relay,
you wouldn't need it.
You get away with a lot more. Like, you know, I mean.
So energy gels, it's important to make the point that I wouldn't try them for the first time on race day. If you haven't tried energy gels before, they may not agree with you. They may give you an upset stomach. They may have you they may have you running to the toilet rather than the finishing line.
The PB running to the toilet.
You know, so I mean, if
they do upset your stomach.
They can do. I mean,
it all goes back to you need to try these out.
Yeah.
On your training runs. Your training runs are actually your template for all this, like, you know, your gels, your energy drinks, you know, what your body can take. Some people found out that, I can't take those at all because I go to the bathroom, or you know, or
upsets my stomach, or some people, you know, if they take caffeine they get too jittery. So I mean, I wouldn't try any of this stuff for the first time on race day. They can help you, but I mean, I wouldn't put too much store into it. I mean, to be honest with you, as regards nutrition, if you're eating well, if you have a good balanced diet, if you're hydrated, you should be okay. So again, don't do it for the first time on race day. They can be handy. They can give you a little bit of pep in your step, but I mean, I wouldn't be overdoing it. Again, people were asking us about this, what they should take post run, after the run, for recovery and stuff like that. Now, I mean, they were asking us yesterday. I think Mick was saying about some kind of protein drinks and that. Now, if I'm running and if I'm doing a training session, I will take a kind of a protein drink afterwards, but equally you could just drink, as you do, chocolate milk,
or even milk. Milk
would be fine.
It's been proven that it's actually nearly up there with the sports drinks, you know. There's actually nearly better protein in actual milk itself, you know. It's a lot of this stuff is marketed, you know.
If you go into sports shops or health shops these days, it's just there's so many different types of protein and pills and potions and powders that you can get that kind of claim that it's going to make you a better runner or make you a better
look great,
make you
look younger,
perform better in the gym, all this type of stuff. But a lot of it is kind of nonsense. I mean, really, again, you can, if you have a good diet, if you have a good balanced diet and take good nutrition.
Keep the diet simple, you know what I mean? Fruit, veg, you know, keep hydrated, you know, go back to basics, you know. Keep food simple, like, you know. A lot of people are complicating it, like, you know.
Yeah, so I mean, I suppose post-run, I mean, yes, a protein drink might work. I mean, chocolate milk, or just, you know, just have water, have an apple and have your dinner. Can be just as good, you know. So don't get kind of like fooled by all this marketing, you know.
Or upset by it or overthink it. A lot of people do.
Yeah. And that actually ties into our next question. Should I take pre-run drinks? What should I have before I run? Again, this comes down to whatever agrees with you.
Some people have a coffee before they go, and then other people won't because they find they're going to the bathroom a bit more, and some people find it does speed up a bit of hydration if you're going to the bathroom more. And again, no, trial and error. Trial and error. Training runs, all this stuff now. Having something to eat before run, 2 hours before run, having a drink, a glass of water before, a banana before run, like all these should be all tested. Tomorrow it's Monday. I'm going to go for an easy 5-mile run and I'm going to have a banana before it. And then Monday night you say, no, that banana didn't agree with me, or I got heartburn. Do you know what I mean? Then you know then for Tuesday's run you're not going to have a banana, you know. So it's practice before the day. Exactly.
And don't kind of like drastically alter your diet, because I know those people before there's a thing called carb loading, which suggests that you should eat more carbohydrates before a race to give you energy. Again, I don't do that. I never have done it. You know, I'd eat what I normally would eat. I wouldn't eat anything extra because it's not going to agree with you.
Yeah, especially for any race below 10 miles. You know, when you start doing half marathons, maybe depending what level you're at, but you know, definitely for a marathon, they would take more carbs in the week of it. You know, like, I mean, carb depletion and carb loading. But again, you're going into a different level of athletes when you start looking at that end of it. You know, I mean, the people that we're targeting, you know, like, shouldn't be getting bogged down with carb loading for the last leg of the marathon.
Well,
you know?
People do. I mean, again, I was asked this question here: what should I eat? What should I eat on the morning of the race? Because there was a friend of mine who was a runner, and she didn't know what to eat in the morning of the race. She was paranoid about being too hungry and to being running out of energy during a race. Now, this was like even a 10k, wouldn't necessarily be a marathon, but she was paranoid about not having the energy to run. But if she ate enough, she found that she was too full. You know?
Yeah, and you get a stitch. all these questions that the people are asking us, like, you have to trial
Yeah.
everything out. No point arriving on race day and say and just hit it blank and saying, right, I'm gonna eat the biggest breakfast I ever had in my life, and then all of a sudden you're cramped, you're stitched, you're running to the bathroom. All these things that could go wrong do go wrong, you know. I mean, like, it really is your fault then, because you have to test things out, you know.
You do. I mean, like, again, I would, for what I do, what I eat on the morning of any race is the exact same as I eat on any morning. I'll have a bowl of porridge with a banana, some nuts, seeds, whatever it is, and that's it.
But it's like most things you do in life, Colm. Like, I mean, like, if a man and a woman get married, like, you know what I mean? Like, a woman's not going to turn up on the day of a wedding and say, right, I just tried on this dress for the first time ever. They do a trial run, like, you know, 15 dresses later, you know.
Absolutely.
And same for the groom. They get all the lads, you know. I know I use that's a bit of a different analogy for it, like, but.
Yeah.
You would, like, you know what I mean? You trial something out before the actual day.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. So that's it. I mean, it's a good advice, I think, as well, to maybe get a race in before the day. There's plenty of races, plenty of 5Ks, 10Ks, park runs, which you can do between now and June 6th. And
that's a big one, Colm. That is a big one. Like, a lot of people, like, you know, they've never, like, listen, the audience that we are trying to target is the people that have never ran, and the people that have ran, we're giving them a bit more advice, you know. I mean, we're trying to motivate people, you know. We're passionate about the Cork City Marathon.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's a day you want to be a part of. Do a park run. Do a local race, as you said, 5K, because if it doesn't do anything else for you, it will blow away the nerves.
Yeah.
It will take away the imagination of what it's like, you know. So then when you do hit the day of the Cork City Marathon, relay or half or full, you're prepped. Now, if you are doing the half or full and you're a beginner, like, you know, you should be a bit more into it now at this stage, you know.
You should, yeah. I mean, I think as well as that for training, if you do a race, it's great training. Races are great, you know. They're not just races. They're very handy to train towards. If you're training for a marathon or something like that, it's handy to do a race just prior to that, because it gets speed in your legs and it gets you used to it, and gets the kind of it's a training run that you're never going to do on your own. But
correct. Also, it gives you a guide to where you're at. I mean, I've often went out to races and thought I was faster than I actually was, you know. And then when I done a pre-run, a pre-race, I realised I was either not as fit, or maybe I didn't think I was as fit, and I ran a better race for the next time, because it's a good gauge to see where you're at, you know.
It does, absolutely.
A lot of people think they're faster than what they actually are, you know.
So if you can get a race in between now and then, do so. I get blisters when I run over 5 miles. What can I do? Well, blisters, it's funny, you know, you kind of think this is a very small thing, a blister, but it can really ruin your day. Yeah. And it can ruin your race, and it ruin your feet, and it's very, very sore. Yeah. And I used to get blisters when I would run a full marathon, and for ages I got them, and I by the end of the race it was really painful. It was like a burning hot coals, like running on burning hot coals, really awful. And I kind of used to treat them afterwards, but sure, that's not the thing to do, is to treat them beforehand. So what I would do, if you have a blister, if you're prone to blisters, if it's on the ball of your foot, or
soft feet like Colm.
Yes, if you have short, soft, gentle feet like mine, my size 9s. But if it's on your heel, or if it's on the side of your foot, or indeed on the ball of your foot, you should know whereabouts the blisters happen. They kind of happen in the same area. And what I would do is I use Compeed, those little kind of plasters, but I put them on my feet.
They're good, yeah.
Yeah, but I put them on before the race.
Correct.
So I put them on the areas that my ball of the foot, wherever I would get one, and I'd cover my foot, not completely covered it, but I'd put Compeed on before the race, and you would find it probably won't stop you getting a blister completely, but it was certainly...
You're about an inch taller too.
Yeah, exactly. But it would certainly stop it coming on, you know, and it would certainly be a lot less painful.
Yeah.
So if you get blisters, put a Compeed on, or a blister patch where it happens before the race.
But Colm, as well, socks have a lot to do with it, because like your tops, your sweat-proof tops, and your dry wick tops, like, there is good socks out there as well, you know, that will take the sweat and the heat, you know, racing socks.
See, nobody wants to spend €12 on a pair of socks, because that is, if you buy socks, it's €1 or €2, inside and inside and pennies. But to be honest with you, it's worth the investment for a decent pair of sports socks or a decent brand of socks. It will help you run, or it'll help you stop getting blisters. Brings us on to our next question, Chris. Should I buy brand new gear for the race, top, shorts, hat, etc.?
Oh, this is one of my pet hates. Like, you see some people and they just look fantastic on race day. Beautiful new shoes, beautiful new top, pants. Oh, they look like models more than athletes. They're just, unbelievable. And that's you, Colm. Like, you look you're looking well in race day.
I have looked good in race day before.
But all jokes aside, going back, tried and tested. I mean, I always tell people, definitely the weeks up, and especially the marathon, the half marathon, you want to be practicing your gear. What runners you wear, what top, what pants, what are you comfortable in, what can you sweat in, what can take rain.
Can you wear a hat? I mean, people go, oh, I'll buy a hat for the race, but they've never ran in a hat.
Exactly.
And they try to wear a hat and it's too hot or whatever it may be.
They sweat in them, yeah. I actually, when I ran my marathon in Rotterdam, I knew it was going to be hot, so I got the tennis hats with the to just have the peak in them. They're just
like a visor.
Yeah, that's all. It's just a visor. But I trained a lot of my long runs in the gear that I was going to race on race day.
Yeah.
I actually had to change one of my running tops, and I had to change a type of sock I was wearing for a while, because it just didn't agree with me when I got over a certain distance. I started chafing, and I started getting, if you ever seen the nipples.
Bloody nipple.
Yeah, and it's just,
I know.
Listen, there's enough distractions on the day itself. You don't want to be adding pain, unnecessary pain,
Yeah. No, that's very important. I mean, it's kind of gross, but a bloody nipple can happen, and it can ruin your day and your top.
And your nipples.
So, I mean, but I would suggest getting Vaseline, and I would suggest I put it on my feet, but anywhere where there's a joint under your arms, between your legs. I mean, cover yourself in Vaseline, because it stops this chafing. Because again, it doesn't seem that much, but I tell you, if you start getting a chafing problem in your arm or your leg or wherever it may be, it can ruin your race again. So it's important to do that.
Especially having a shower after.
Yeah,
exactly. Burning.
Yeah, and I mean, I know people have used plasters, band-aids. On their nipples, but then that's fine, but then you have to take them off.
It's very prone to men, really.
And there's a whole world of problems there where you're trying to take it off on a hairy chest. So I would say cover yourself, men and women, cover yourself in Vaseline. It'll be your best friend. As regards to injuries, I've got a niggle injury on my calf. What should I do?
Well, at this stage, Colm, as you mentioned in a couple of podcasts ago, like, you should be keeping a training diary. So you should definitely go to your physio and definitely trying to root out why the niggle came. Like, did you up your mileage? Have you worn new shoes? Rule it out with your physio.
So yeah, I mean, this is the thing, is this is just a niggle injury, so they can still run, but it's kind of annoying them. So I mean, if you've been doing training for the Cork City Marathon or anything else, if you've been doing more training than you have done in the past, you will get a niggle. It's very easy to pick up an injury. There's not an injury that's going to stop you running, but it's a niggle, it's pain, it's kind of annoying. But I would say, if you've been doing training, as you said, Chris, go to a physiotherapist, go and get a sports massage, deep tissue, and it should iron out a lot of those problems.
Yeah. Look, you can run through niggles, but there's a thin line between running through a niggle or the start of something.
Yes.
It is a thin line. That's what I was saying. Like,
it's hard to predict it, because you don't know, is it actually real pain or of an injury that's coming on, or is it just pain you got to get over? Because there's two types of pain. So I would suggest,
and some people's pain is too is nearly in their head, because coming up to a race, all of a sudden you're feeling pain and there actually isn't any. It's psychologists you should be going to,
Yeah,
especially with big race, you go, my leg is sore. There's actually nothing wrong with it.
Well, you see, you could probably think, exactly. But you need to, when you're training for anything, be it running or whatever it is, when you're doing a lot of training, you are going to get injuries, or you're going to have aches and pains, and a lot of it is just growing pains. It's good, you're getting better, you're getting fitter, you're using your body more, so your body's kind of giving out a little bit. But you can get properly injured as well.
Put me back on the couch.
Well, you can get properly injured. So I would say get a good sports masseuse, or indeed a physiotherapist who knows what's happening. Because oftentimes you might have a sore calf. It mightn't be your calf at all. It could be your glutes is the problem. So that you should get somebody who knows what they're doing to work on you. And if you get a massage, get a massage or something before whatever event you're doing. Get a massage before that, and you should feel like brand new.
And now is the time to start booking, because with all these big races coming up, they do get booked out quick,
Yeah. So a few more questions in here. Should I be doing cross training? I'm running, but can I do spinning, kettlebells, swimming as well? Well, yeah. I mean, there's no problem with doing that. You probably won't get any faster by doing it, in my experience, but you would get fitter.
Yeah, will your body be more resilient to injuries?
It can be very good for injuries, a bit of cross training. Again, you don't want to overtrain, so don't be doing a load of spinning and a load of kettlebells and a load of other work on top of your running until you get fitter, if you like. But it can work. Be careful for overtraining. We have a trainer, the great Donny Walsh, who says if you want to get better at running, run.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to be said for that. But as you say, it could be good for injury prevention, like a bit of yoga, a bit of Pilates.
Yeah,
stretching, all that kind of business.
Weights. I mean, some people think because they do weights, they're actually going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but it's it's injury prevention, like.
Not you or me.
No,
we can't be accused of that.
No.
So another very common question, Chris: how do I get rid of a stitch when I run?
Well, again, you'd have to monitor what you've been eating before it anyway. So if you had your dinner before it, and you haven't, and this is new to you, and this is your trial and error, well, then you know that, look, I can't have anything to eat, maybe an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, anything heavy, maybe a banana and a cup of coffee, or a banana and maybe a sports drink. Or if you are running, you do come across a stitch, I tend to lean on it, not bend over, just slightly into the side. I usually poke my finger inside it,
Yeah, you could
slow it right down, depends if you're in the marathon, slow it right down, if you're a beginner,
I got a bad stitch. I'm not prone to them, but I got a bad stitch when I was running over in Wales in this competition, and it was a really awful time to get it. But I remember running, and I was so unused to stitches, I didn't know what to do, and I kind of started to bend over, as in doubled over. I was still running, but I was trying to bend over like that, and that's the wrong thing to do. If you can be really straight and upright and breathe into the stitch, so you're trying to breathe even more deeply than you normally do, and kind of breathe into the stitch. And if you're bolt upright, don't get doubled over or bent over, and that kind of seemed to do something about it. As you say, maybe put a finger in it. If you can put your finger in the stitch, that can help as well. But they're very annoying, and they kind of come because of whatever you've been eating or drinking. That's
the
generally
gases
it.
Or the acid in your stomach. It's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world, but I mean, you can. They're very annoying.
Yeah. Especially if you're going well in the race and you're on a good rhythm.
So that's stitches. Yeah, I think breathe into them, be bolt upright, and it can oftentimes subside. Just one more in here, Chris, on a question. So I've been running since Christmas, but I haven't lost the weight I thought I would. What's the story?
Weekends are too good.
Yeah.
That
could be it. Yeah, I mean, I was talking to this person who, started running and started losing some pounds and feeling kind of good, and then kind of stopped losing the weight.
Well, it's a deep question, I mean, you have to kind of look at again their diary. You have to analyse your own performance and look, I'm losing weight here because maybe that's your motivation for running, walking, exercise. Have you went to the doctor? Is it a medical issue, right? And if that ticks the boxes, no, everything is grand. There's a friend of mine, he's a personal trainer, and he says to me, he's training hard all week, and there's a bunch of these lads and ladies, and they're going well, and they're looking great, and it just seems to every Monday, they're just kind of saying, oh, I weighed myself at home, and I've actually put on weight.
Yeah.
I haven't lost. And this particular guy, I won't name, he said, look, let me see your diary, and jeez, they went out Friday night, they did a takeaway Saturday, and Sunday they did another takeaway. I mean, I mean, give yourself a treat day, like not a treat weekend, you know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of that as well, you know. People like overindulge because they say, well, I ran yesterday, so I can eat what I want today. Do you know?
This
I mean,
is it.
it's a
Unfortunately,
balance, like.
Yeah, I mean, people kind of, you know, after running or after training, they will kind of, if you eat loads and you are quite hungry after a lot of the times after training, you're hungry. But if you eat twice the amount that you normally would, you know, it kind of, if you're looking to lose weight, it's kind of cancelling it out.
It's counterproductive, like, yeah.
You know, so I mean, at the start, this is all new to you, and you start losing a few pounds and getting a bit leaner, but then that kind of stops, that kind of plateaus. So you have to kind of watch, you know, just because, you know, you're running or you're training more regularly than you did, it doesn't give you a license to go and eat double the amount.
Correct, and it goes back to like niggles. You have to kind of start saying, right, I'm going to get into a nutritionist now and start getting professional advice to get a diet that tailors one's needs, you know. I mean, if we're going to, this is a life change for most people, you know. I mean, they've never ran before, they've never done any exercise before, like, and everything is new to them. There's thousands of questions, but there seems to be even more answers, and they're trying to find the right one, like, you know. Seek out someone that's reputable, someone that has done it, and they put you on the right path, you know. I mean,
yeah. But I mean, it's a good idea. I mean, to talk to somebody who is a nutritionist, or maybe can give you a diet plan, because again, one size doesn't fit all.
No,
so I mean,
no.
it's very much like, you know, you can't just kind of rip something off the internet and expecting it to work. You should try and find somebody who can give you a proper diet plan for you and your body. Also, people find if you're running the same distance at the same speed, the potential for the running for you to lose weight is not there, because if you keep doing the same thing, your body gets used to it. So if you run the same distance at the same speed, your body gets used to it. It's not going to lose that kind of weight that you want.
Your body will get at the start. Your body will get a stimulus from it because it's new. But when the body gets used to it, you get no stimulus. So you, like, obviously if you build up a bit of a aerobic base and aerobic foundation, you should be start thinking of, right, one day a week now, if you're with a personal trainer or a coach or whatever, start introducing some high intensity training, you know.
Yeah, different speeds.
Correct.
So,
yeah,
you know, you have to kind of come out of your comfort zone. I mean, if you're going to get, not only if you're going to like lose more weight, but also if you're going to get fitter, you have to be running at different speeds, different
paces, different terrain, tempo runs,
hills,
fartlek runs, you know. Maybe you could be in the field somewhere, say, right, I'm going to run fast from this pole to the next pole, and then in a circle I'm going to turn around and then I'm going to walk back and start upping it, you know. But again, controlled, right, preferably under the guidance of someone that has done it, a coach or a personal trainer, you know.
Exactly. Well, I mean, a lot of people who are starting this might find that they hit a plateau. So they've hit a plateau on themselves and what they can do. And in those scenarios, I would say, you know, there's lots of brilliant clubs in Cork.
Oh, excellent.
There's
Lee Vale AC, actually.
Well, Lee Vale, there's the
Our own club.
St. Finbarrs, there's East Cork have a great club, I know. Toker have a brilliant club. So there's excellent clubs all over Cork City and County.
In their area.
And if you want to improve further, if you're enjoying, you know, getting into running, if you want to improve further, that's how you do it.
Correct.
It's by training with other people, training under a coach, and that's how you do it. But you need to kind of, as I said, people will kind of find that you will plateau. You know, you improve quite quickly, but then you kind of, if you're not doing anything different, if you're not pushing yourself outside your comfort zone, you kind of plateau. And that's kind of what you might feel for, you know, your speed and even your weight. If you kind of feel like I'm not losing weight anymore and I still have more to lose, that's what it is. It's kind of like getting into a rut.
Correct, but even the social interaction part of it, like, I mean, you can even see on the Saturdays with us that people have never ran and they're kind of only comfortable because they're in a group.
Yeah,
you know, and the social side of it, you know.
But you know what? When I started, well, it's funny because when I started running, I kind of thought I was doing it on my own, and I kind of thought I don't want to join a club, because I kind of thought that I was enjoying running on my own, and I kind of thought it would ruin it for me if I joined a club. But then I found, you know, I hit a kind of a plateau, as I just spoke about, and I had 3 marathons, and they're all the exact same time. They're in around 2:45, and I realised if I'm going to improve, I'm going to have to join a club. And when I did join a club, it was a complete new possibilities for running, and I actually really enjoyed running in a group. And you know, because it didn't mean I couldn't run on my own as well, but I could run on my own sometimes, or run in a group as well. And to get better, to improve, you need to have a team around you.
Yeah, bring you on.
You know, absolutely.
Has brought you on.
So there you go. Listen, we're just going to finish up. That's just some questions. As I said, if you want to get in touch with your questions, marathon@redfm.ie. You can tweet at Cork's Red FM using the hashtag #RunWithRed. Just a couple of other things to finish, Chris, just on words of advice for the next couple of weeks.
As we covered, jump into a local 5k road race, park runs. They're brilliant. They're all over Ireland and the UK. Oh, they're fantastic. Definitely. Also with the relay, if you're doing a relay, whoever you're handing over your baton, the bracelet in the marathon, make sure they have your jacket or your pants or whatever. So then each person is passing on a level of clothing to the next person.
Yeah.
So then when they're going back to their car, or it's a long walk, depending what station they're at, they're comfortable. They're dry.
So the person on your team who you're with, get them to take a change of clothes or a top or a leggings or bottoms, whatever it is, a change of top, so they will have your change of clothes. So when you arrive at your changeover point and you're all soggy and sweaty, you can change into clothes.
Yeah, get rid of that blooded nipple top.
Okay.
Spit on your jacket.
Yeah, all the snot and the spit.
You know,
so there you go.
Like,
so that's some good advice. Know the course. Have a look at the course. Get onto corkcitymarathon.ie. Study the course. Even drive the course.
And John Desmond blog actually up to it before the day itself. He'll be sending out links to each section. You know.
Yeah, that's the Cork Running blog. We mentioned it in a previous podcast, but it's a very, very good resource here for running in Cork. Get on it. They're on Facebook. They're online. They're the Cork Running blog. Very important, don't cram in mileage on the week just before the race. You know, you should be getting kind of your miles in, but don't try and up the mileage like, you know, you're coming up to an exam and you're cramming for studying. You know, you don't do that.
No, it's better to be undercooked the week of it as opposed to overcooked.
Yeah. And you will have to taper as well for, you know, if you've been running and building up the mileage, you also have to come down and, like, you know, have to come off.
Fresh for the day, like.
Yeah, so you do less in the weeks running up to the race. Again, we have a decent training plan there in redfm.ie, which would detail on how you could taper there as well. Very good point here as well, because people forget to enjoy the day.
Oh, yeah.
You know, people forget to do that because maybe if they're running a half for the first time or the full for the first time, they're kind of nervous and they're a little bit kind of apprehensive. And even for people running the relay, mightn't have done it before, they kind of forget what they're doing and they kind of forget that this is a great day and it's a lot of fun, and to kind of like enjoy it, smile, say thanks, say, you know, good luck.
This has been a goal for a lot of people, you know. I mean, actually, before we finish up, when I was doing Rotterdam, I thought it was very good that every athlete had their name on the bib.
Yeah, okay.
So it was fantastic. So if we didn't know someone, they'd say, "Oh, go Colm," or "Go Chris." You know, there was people just shouting, "Go Chris!" Right, just thought, you know, it was brilliant. It was a great boost, you know. When the lads went over with Michael, they had it in his top. But there was the Dutch was saying, "Go Michelle, go Michelle." So he said for the whole shagging thing, he said to call me Michelle. He said, "Go Michelle."
I think actually, in fairness, I think they do that in Cork as well. I'm not sure whether they do it for the numbers on the relay, but they do. If you see, but that's the thing. Forget it, because a lot of people may not have run that much before and they might be in a little bit of discomfort, so they kind of forget to smile.
Yeah.
And they forget to, you know, there's people handing you out drinks to all the volunteers, and they, you know, just say thanks, have a smile on your face, or certainly have a good buzz, you know.
A part of this now, Colm, and I think just because you're soaking in experience and you've reached your goal of the marathon, don't stop. Like, don't leave the June Bank Holiday weekend be the finish of it. Because what happens then, a lot of people, what they do as well, I reached my goal, I've done the Cork City Marathon, and that's it. To go back to their old habits, they put back on the weight again, they go back to their drinking, their smoking, you know.
I've done it.
Do you know? Yeah, it's very easy to slip back. You've made a positive move.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Well,
stay in the zone, like, you know.
Well, what you were going to say, I mean, you actually can get fit and you can get, you can start training up, and then if you let it slip, you can almost
double
relapse worse.
You can,
you can have even more bad habits than you had before.
Yeah.
You can have even more bad diet. You can go back. You can go back smoking more cigarettes than you ever did before, drinking more pints than you ever did before, and that can happen. You know, oftentimes if you don't keep it up, it can go back even worse than what it was before. So yeah, I think it's important to kind of like build on this. You know, if you've got out there, if you've run a relay for the first time, or half for the first time, or the full, you know, build on that.
Colm,
build on that.
There's a new drug in town, and it's here to stay. And it's called exercise, buddy.
That's it.
Stay on it.
So it's
Stay on it.
So it's important to enjoy it. And listen, the closing date for the marathon as well has been extended, Friday 20th of May. So that's this Friday coming. If you're looking at this podcast, or if you're listening to this podcast before Friday 20th of May, you still have time to get on board, okay? redfm.ie/run with red if you'd like to get involved with the Red FM fundraising initiative. corkcitymarathon.ie if you just want to get on their side as well. It's the Irish Examiner Cork City Marathon, June bank holiday weekend, Monday, June 6th, and we're all looking forward to it. Thanks, Chris.
Colm, thank you very much.
Okay, and we'll be back with one or two more podcasts before the June bank holiday weekend. So thanks for listening.